Hey everybody, happy Freeform Friday tutorial stream. Yes, I'm on my laptop at home, which means, of course, there's going to be audio weirdness. Like my microphone was muted and then it just randomly unmuted itself, and then I muted it and then I unmuted it. So hopefully audio is good. Let me know if I'm echoing or sounding weird at all. Also, wow, that is a hell of a shade of lipstick that I put on there, but hey, at least nobody's going to mistake where my mouth is in this particular broadcast. So hi everybody, happy Freeform Friday. Hi Barb and Heather, and yes, we are still so far away from each other, but this time I'm the one who's working. Yay! Thank goodness. Seriously, like, I swear, theoretically, it's like you should be able to unplug the things, plug them back into the ports in the exact same program with the exact same settings, and it should work the same way, except that it doesn't always. So I'm glad that I have good audio. Also, this lipstick situation is bothering me a bit. But of course I have no Kleenex. Oh well. We're just going to go with it. So welcome to Freeform Friday. And so what I'm going to do today for you is two things. Number one is I have... Okay, Ace set up all these shortcuts for me and I need to remember what they are. Yes, Barb, how are you feeling? Okay, so I have my piece from last night. And I have pearls that are trying to run away. I should probably put those on a mat instead of just on my, wooden work surface. That doesn't work very well. So I have... Okay, so I've got my piece from last night. That's my embellished stepped bezel pendant, and it's all tumbled and pretty. And so now I'm going to go ahead and put my stone in it. And if I want to, I could cut these off, these half loops, and I think I'm going to try and do that. I may regret this decision. We shall see if I do, but I'm going to try it. So I'm going to try cutting off just the parts of those loops that are up over the back of the bezel. I know, it's bad when you're looking forward to going to the doctor. And then after I do this, and I don't have a flex shaft here at home, but after I do this, I'm probably going to have to go back in with a flex shaft and sand that down, because otherwise it's going to be really kind of stabby. But see, so I'm just cutting them off so that I don't have that extraneous part of my ring up in there anymore. Okay, so there we go. So that just looks a little bit more, it looks a little bit more intentional that way. And like I said, I'll probably take my flex shaft and smooth that out a bit, because I don't know that I've got a half round file here, but let me check behind me. That's where I hide all the mess. Okay, I found a flat file, which will work. It's not a half round file, but it'll work. So I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to file down some of those rough edges that I just cut. And I'm going to brace it against my table when I do that, so that means you're not going to be able to see it very well. Also helps if you cut off as much as possible. So I had a little bit of extra overhang that I just cut off. That's going to make this filing process go quicker. Okay, so now that I've got that smoothed down, I'm going to grab my stone. Remember, I had my smoky quartz from last night, and I'm going to pop that into my setting. And it does fit in there nice and tight. And then I'm going to grab my prong pusher, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down on my work surface, and I'm just going to use my prong pusher to push that bezel in so that it holds my stone in place. So you just grab the pusher in the palm of your hand. You want to make sure that you can figure out where the heck your chair is in relation to your table. You want to make sure that you've got a good steady grip on it. So don't hold it like this. Put it in the palm of your hand, and then you're just going to push in and down with your pusher. And what's going to happen, so see, there's like right now this little airspace right there. So I'm going to try and close that up so that my bezel is laying flush against my stone. And I'm going to work in opposition. So I went ahead and I worked that one corner right there. Now I'm going to go to the opposite corner and I'm going to work that. And the reason you work in opposition is to make sure that your stone stays flat. So I'm just working my way around my bezel, just pushing that bezel down so that it is grabbing onto my stone. So a bezel is a physical connection, meaning that the way that a bezel works is when you roll it over, you make the entrance, the top of the bezel, smaller than the circumference of your stone so that it's essentially trapped inside there, like for real. And so even though I did thin out this bezel with my sanding drum before I did all the soldering, still a little bit stiffer than your typical bezel, so it Hey Groovy Blue Who, yay raids! That's awesome! Welcome in, welcome to the Beading Dreams stream. Where's Yay! It worked! So awesome! Hi Groovy Blue Who. Wow, it's the end of my work week almost, and so I am definitely, yeah, definitely having issues with speaking. But welcome! Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for coming in. So what were you all doing on your stream today? That's a great handle. So what were you doing? Were you all crafting or hanging out? What were y'all making? And hi, welcome in. So this is a Freeform Friday stream. So what that means is that basically it's I pick a project and I do it live on stream. And what today's Freeform Friday actually has turned into is I had a project last night that I started on my Torch Thursday stream, and oh, it does rhyme with Cindy Lou Who. Heather is not wrong. But yeah, so I had this project that I did the first part of last night, which is an embellished sterling silver soldered step bezel pendant, and so I had to polish it in my tumbler, and so I'm going to go ahead and finish that this evening. And then I also had an unfortunate incident involving a whole lot of traffic on Thursday, and so I did not get to do my noon stream on Thursday, and so I'm gonna go ahead and also try and we'll see if this actually happens, but I'm gonna try and get started on this project as well. This is a woven wire band ring, and this was supposed to be the Thursday project, so I'm hoping I can get through finishing this pendant and at least getting started on the ring tonight. We'll see how it goes. So I'm gonna work on setting this pendant. And Groovy Blue, what were y'all doing on stream tonight? I'm curious. Yeah, I know, but thank you, Heather, because that's helped my tired Friday brain actually be able to say the thing properly. And I will reiterate once again, like, it is such a talent of, like, all of the regular Twitch, I mean, I guess theoretically I'm a regular Twitch streamer, but all the really good Twitch streamers who can just, like, grab a handle off of the chat and be like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what? Doesn't mean I don't like you. It just means that my eyes don't read that fast. Though, I still think one of my favorites is, Soft Goth Love, who's an awesome crafting streamer. One of my stream viewers and also close friends, her name is Amy Anab. So her handle is AMYANNAB. And Soft Goth always calls her Amy Annaby, which is, I think, the cutest thing pretty much ever on the planet. Okay, now I wonder... Okay. Just checking to make sure all the tech is working well. Okay, so I'm still working on setting this thing, and I think I'm going to have to resort to pliers, and I'm also going to have to resort to taking off my glasses. Because this is what happens when the eyes get old. Which, by the way, these eyes right here are having a birthday on Saturday. Yes, I will be 43 on Saturday. And we are having an in-store party at Beading Dreams, so if you're local in Dallas, you can actually come and be live studio audience for the sales stream. If you are not local in Dallas, there will be tiaras, there will be champagne, there will be fun, and I guarantee you shenanigans will happen on Saturday's stream. So even if you're not interested in buying beads, pretty sure it's going to be a good time no matter what. So that's going to be Saturday, July 23rd at, thank you, Blue Hue. See, that's my little trick, is I'll usually try and, Tally Fett, shut your mouth. No, we are not doing a 24-hour stream. Wash your mouth out with soap, woman. Also, hi. 24-hour stream. Hi, Ace. Tally Fett's trying to kill me, y'all. I'm old and she's trying to murder me. But yeah, it's not going to be a 24-hour stream, but it will be a fun stream. So once again, even if you're not interested in buying beads, tune in Saturday if you're so inclined. This channel, twitch.tv/beadingdream, 7:30 Central Time, because we are in Dallas, Texas, USA. And like I said, it's going to be a fun stream. There's going to be some wacky stuff. We're going to figure out some kind of fun game to play on stream to give you all discounts on merchandise. Pretty sure I'm probably going to get fairly tipsy, which, as you all know, tends to lead to amusing things happening. So, should be fun. So tune in Saturday for some, and that's not tomorrow Saturday, that's Saturday the 23rd. Tomorrow I will still be 7 days away from being 43. Okay, so I've got this set now. Yes, Heather now, so tonight, Heather is at Beading Dreams and I am here at my house. This whole like work remote thing is weird. It's cool, I like it. I'm totally streaming in stretchy pants right now. Nobody would have known if I hadn't told you, but still. Ace, no, do not listen to Tallyfet. Tallyfet tells nothing but lies. Tallyfet fibs. Button list. No 24-hour stream unless your ass is going to fly down here and run it. That is the condition. Okay, so now that I've got my stone set, now I'm going to add little dangly bits to the bottom. And I'm going to do those using head pins. So I've got some sterling silver head pins and some freshwater pearls. And as far as tools go for that, I am going to need a round nose pliers, I'm going to need a chain nose pliers, and I'm going to need a wire cutter. So since this is freeform, I'm going to go to, oh wow, yay! It's a good birthday. Glad I share it with your mama. Okay, so since this is a freeform tutorial stream, whatever, I'm going to show you how I would do this if I were well, I am making this, but if I were just making this instead of teaching it. I'm an assembly line worker. That just to me is always results in more efficiency. And if you're trying to, you know, if you're getting paid by the piece, like you're doing a craft fair or something, and you know, the more pieces you have, the more pieces you can sell. Of course, it's to your benefit to make everything as efficient as possible, so you can create the most pieces possible in as little time as possible. So, wow, there's so many people with my birthday. Apparently, a lot of people were getting it on in, what would that have been, November? Though I was 2 weeks late. My mother likes to throw that in my face that I was 2 weeks late in summer in Wisconsin, not even in Texas. Like, I was not born in Texas. I am not from Texas. But apparently it was a very beastly summer in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I was 2 weeks late, and my mother will never let me forget it as long as I live. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add these little dangles. So I've got everything on head pins, and for anybody who's not familiar with a head pin is just a piece of wire with a little flat bit at the end. That's the head. And what that does is it keeps your bead from falling off. Now we're going to attach these to our pendant with a basic wire wrap loop. So like I said, assembly line is how I like to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make all of these into the lady with a scarf configuration of our basic wire wrap loop, and then I'm going to attach them all on and wrap them. So I'm going to start with my round nose pliers so that they are touching the top of my bead, and then I'm going to go away so they make a 90-degree angle, loosen my pliers, rotate them up just 1/8 of a turn, grab again, pull that wire back up over the top towards me, and down again, loosen, rotate out of the way, grab, and underneath. Wait, what? Lewd. That is awesome. I do love that. Okay, and then that makes our lady with a scarf, which is basically our loop before we have wrapped it. It's not blood, that's just lipstick, I promise. Okay, so pardon me. I'm allergic to the entire world at this particular moment. So once again, round nose pliers, grab at the top of your bead, go away, rotate, back up over the top, rotate underneath, number 2 lady with a scarf. So Blue Hue, where are you joining us from today? 3. And I did wind up, you guys probably saw this on stream last night, I actually wound up with all my loops off center. I was supposed to do 5, so I wound up adding a 6th one over here to make it balanced. And this is just one example of how being flexible. Oh my god, that's awesome! I'm jelly. I've always wanted to be able to draw. I mean, and to be fair, my drawing has improved significantly over the course of my career. Like, there's one very sad handout that we still use that I drew like in one of my first couple years of teaching beading, and it's horrible. Of course, now we use photos for all of our handouts, but you know, there was an interim there where they were still hand drawn, and it's like my handouts from, you know. Oh, not a problem, Blue Hue. I just asked, from where are you joining us this evening? What state, town, country, time zone, universe? You can be as specific or non-specific as you like. Okay, so, and thank you, Heather, for typing that. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add these on here. So I'm just going to slide that wire up into my loop. Connecticut, that's awesome. Yay, East Coasters. One of my staff is from Massachusetts. So now I've got that. And then I'm going to take my chain nose pliers, I'm going to hold across my loop, and I'm going to wrap, and I'm just going to wrap down until I hit my bead, like so. And then I'm not going to trim that off yet. I'm just going to go ahead and add another one. So you're going to slide it up, and then you're just going to pop it into that loop. And then you're going to, and when you hold across that loop, you're probably going to wind up holding your pendant loop as well, and that's fine. As long as you can get a good clean first wrap, it's all good. So there's 2 and 3. There we go, just pop it in there. So this project, oh my god, it was so bad. And yes, Heather, remind me I need to do an exclamation point lurk command. Because that's pretty cool. See, I just picked up my wire cutters because I wasn't thinking. So next, slide it up. And so when you're popping it in, you need to be aware of the fact that there's only one gateway in this. So you got to put it on the right, on the correct side in order to get it to pop in. And one more, 2 more. Like, why is there only? And sometimes you have to actually take this and you've got to lever them apart a bit to make yourself a little bit of space right there. And one more. Alright, ta-da! Okay, so that's all my little dangles. And now I'm going to go through and I'm going to trim them all off. So when you're trimming, you want to get absolutely as close as you possibly can. When you're trimming, that's going to make your ends easier to press in. Trim. Sorry, it's hard to show you that because I have to hold it. There, that's a little bit better. So then once you trim all of these, they're all going to have little pokey stabbies. So then we're going to go back with our chain nose and we're going to So all the little stabby bits, see that one there? We're going to come at them from the front and we're going to press them down. And yes, it's a little cramped and awkward, so you just kind of have to have persistence. Catch them at the right angle. It's easier if you hold on the loop, but sometimes it's hard to get your fingers in there when you have this small amount of space. But if you hold it on the loop, it won't twist, so it is easier to get that pressed down. So you want to go ahead and press down all 6 of these. Wait, what about persistence of memory? What did I miss? Did I miss a chat? Doesn't look like I missed a chat. Okay, so there we go. So that is our embellished stepped bezel pendant. So you could take this, you could attach it using jump rings or wire wraps to chain. Coming from here and here, you could string a necklace, you could crimp onto these loops, or you could do bullion or bead tips onto these loops if you wanted to do something knotted. I think eventually for me, this one is going to wind up strung on some knotted pearls with maybe some smoky quartz. But that is finally the conclusion of last night's tutorial. Oh, got it. So this is finally the conclusion of last night's tutorial, embellished stepped bezel pendant. Now, do you have to put double attachments on this? Of course you don't. You could totally put a single attachment at the middle. However, when you're doing something east-west like this that's so incredibly wide, if you are going to put a bail at the center, I recommend, rather than just a ring, I would recommend something like a triangle bail that's a little bit wider, because otherwise it's going to want to flop around. Thank you, Barb. Alright, so now that we finished last night's tutorial, let's go ahead and try and get a head start. Oh, my Lanta. Hold on. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I left my hemostat in my purse. I know that's a weird thing to say, but it's actually true. So everyone just talk amongst yourselves for a minute, and I will be right back with my hemostat. I swear to God, I muted my microphone and it's not muted. But I got my hemostat. Also, I think I left my hemostat in my purse. Should be on the button list. Yes, talk amongst yourselves, but not anymore because now I'm back. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and just take a quick stab at starting out this project. This is the project that was supposed to be on Thursday afternoon. And I didn't make it to work on time because there was a terrible traffic accident, which I was not involved in, but which did completely delay my getting to work. By the time I got to work, it was like 12:40. which is way too late to start a noon stream. So I don't know that I'm going to finish this evening, but it'll give you a good idea of how to get started and the weave. So what I have is I've got some 20 gauge wire and some 26 gauge wire. So my 20 gauge wire, I've got 4 pieces, and I cut them about 5 inches long. Now I'm not going to need all 5 inches, but wow, I just had a moment. Yeah, I'm not going to need all 5 inches. Basically, I'm going to need enough to make whichever ring size I want. And so if you want to know how much length you need to make a particular ring size, just type !chart into the Twitch chat. And that's going to give you my very favorite ring blank sizing chart that's by Contenti. And that'll tell you how many millimeters you need to make any particular size of ring blank. It'll also tell you what size you need to make it based on the thickness of the wire that you're using. So I'm using 20 gauge wire, but we are adding some with the wrapping, so the wrapping does make it thicker. So for size reference for this, I would use the sizing for 18 gauge for whatever your ring size is. So once again, just type !chart into the Twitch chat. That'll get you a link to that chart. If you are not in the Twitch chat, all you need to do is search online Contenti, C-O-N-T-N-T-I, ring blank sizing chart. It'll come right up. It really is my absolute favorite resource for that, and I'm going to go ahead and put that up in the Twitch chat just because. If I can remember how to type. So there's the link to the chart, and like I said, super incredibly useful piece of reference information that they put out there on the internet for everyone to use, and it's fabulous. Okay, so I've got 4 pieces of 20 gauge wire. Again, they're 5 inches long. Like I said, that's more than I need, but I'm going to want a little bit of extra for starting and finishing, and just to give me something to hold on to. So I'm going to take my 4 pieces of wire and I'm going to line them up, and I'm going to take my hemostat, which I have retrieved from my purse, and I'm just going to go about half an inch from the end of my wires, and I'm going to clip my wires into my hemostat, and I'm going to clip it all the way closed, so that what I have is I've got my wires that are all held one on top of the other. And now I'm going to start my weave. So I'm going to grab some 26 gauge wire, and I have a pretty long piece of 26 because when you're weaving, it takes up wire much faster than you think. And so I'm actually going to take that, I'm going to undo my hemostat, I'm going to add that in there, just because it'll be easier if my hemostat's holding it for me. Okay, so there we go. So I've got 5 wires in my hemostat. I've got 4 20 gauges and 1 26 gauge. So now I'm going to take these 20 gauge wires and I'm going to spread them out a little bit. Don't spread them out too far because you're going to be exerting a fair amount of pressure on the wire to bring them back closer together, but it's hard to get the wire in there if they're not spread apart. So I'm going to take my weaving wire, which is my 26 gauge, and so this is a new weave. This is a different weave than we've done before. I tend to favor the over weave. Okay, this is a different weave. This is like a chevron shaped weave. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our bottom 2 wires and we're going to wrap our 26 gauge around them once and twice. And now you can see that those are kind of spread out. I don't want that, so I'm just going to shove them up towards my hemostat with my thumbnail. Now I'm going to wrap that weaving wire around those 2 wires and the wire above, and I'm going to do that twice. So I'm going to go around and around. Bet y'all can probably figure out what happens next. I'm going to wrap around all 4 of these wires. So you're just going to go around and around. Okay, So that's your first half of your first chevron. Now we're going to reverse that. We're going to decrease. So I'm going to go from 4 wires down to only 3 wires. And I'm always wrapping the same direction, okay? I'm not changing directions back and forth. So I'm going to go over that once, twice, and then I'm back to 2. Once, twice, you can shove it all together. So that's my first of my little chevrons. Now you can do 2 more to start a whole new one, or you can kind of just link this together so the last 2 of one chevron are also the first 2 of your next chevron, and that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. So that means now I'm back to going around 3. So around once, twice, and shove that up, oops, nice and tight, and then I'm back to 4. Once. So when you're doing this, in order to have it look neat, what you need to concentrate on as far as tension goes is having enough tension to pull your wires together, but not on top of each other. So you still want them to be kind of stacked like a music staff. Otherwise your wire wrap is going to start to look, or your weave is going to start to look extremely messy. And every once in a while you're going to have to just take a minute, kind of redo that separation. Okay, so we did 2 on 4. Now we're going to go ahead and go with 2 on 3. So that's 3. See, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and then 2 on 2. 1, 2. Shove everything together, and now I have 2 chevrons. So now we're going to go back and increase. So again, this 2 is the last 2 of this chevron and the first 2 of the next chevron. So now we're going to go to 3. I'm really sad that there was traffic because this is actually a really fun weave. And I will make sure to feature it on another project in the future, just so that I can have some more time with it, because it really is just so pretty. Okay, so I did 3, I did 4, now I'm back to 3, which is these 3. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect, you can totally just snug it up. And then we're back to 2. And then 3. And then 4. Okay, so this right here, this is something you got to be careful of. See how this one is kind of creeping up in here? All right, we don't want that. We want to make sure everything stays nice and flat. So you can take your chain nose and just kind of crimp it and rock it a bit to make sure that everything stays flat like it's supposed to be. Okay, so now that was 4. Now we're, sorry, so I changed my camera position, which is one reason why I'm having such trouble keeping everything on the camera. Now we're going to go in 3. I think once I get used to it, it's going to be way better and more intuitive. But at the moment, I realize, and I apologize, I know I keep wandering off camera with the project. And then we've got 2. And then 3. And the main thing you want to worry about here is you don't want to get your wraps overlapped. Okay, so too far separated is easy to fix. See, just like that. Too close together so that they're overlapping, not so easy to fix. Basically, the only fix there is you've got to take it apart and do it again. So that was 4. Now we're back on 3 for the descending side. And then back on 2. And then we're ascending again, so 3. And 4. And 3. And 2. Okay, so there we go. We are well on our way to our chevron ring. So what's going to happen is you're going to go ahead and, if you're making this project, you're going to weave this to whatever length that Contenti sizing chart says you need. I think for size 7 it's probably something like 56.8 millimeters. So that's the length you need to have of the woven bit. Okay, because the end of this doesn't add any length hardly at all. So you need to weave the entire length that you need for your ring size in these wires. Now when it comes time to finish it off, and I'm going to just show you on this first side, you can take your initial 26 gauge piece and you can cut it off. It's going to make a pokey stabby, so you can go ahead and press that in. And then you can take these wires and you can cut them all off short. So what you want to do is cut each of them about 1/8 of an inch from where it exits your wrapping, which means that they are going to be slightly different sizes because you've got a chevron here. So they're going to come in, as you can see, at an angle. Alright, like so, and then one at a time, you're just going to take your chain nose. Those chain nose are absolutely terrible. I'm getting a different pair of chain nose. You're going to take your chain nose and you're going to grab each one and just bend it under and squeeze it. Make sure you squeeze it nice and tightly so that you don't have a scratchy part, and then you're going to go with the next one. And then the next one and the next one. So once you've got it to that length that's specified in the chart, you're going to finish off both ends like this. And again, make sure you smash them to the point where you don't have any stabby ends here, because nobody wants stabby ends on your ring. And then after you've finished both ends, then you're going to grab your ring stick and you're going to wrap it around your ring stick. And when you're wrapping it around your ring stick, you want to go smaller than your size. Okay, so my size 7 is, you know, somewhere down around here. So I'm going to wrap it up here because this is going to be really springy. So I'm going to wrap it around so that it overlaps, and I'm going to let it go, and chances are it's going to spring out to be the right size. If it doesn't, if it's still too small, you can go ahead and slide it down. So it's 7:04. I'm going to go ahead and weave on this for about 10 more minutes until 7:15, and we'll see how far I get, and if I get far enough to actually finish the whole ring for you, I will. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but it never hurts to try. First, I'm going to untangle the wire. Yes, I have made a huge mess. It's large. It's a large tangled mess. How does this happen? I will never know. I really won't, because it just does. So, don't forget, we'll be back on this channel, twitch.tv/beadingdream, tomorrow night with an actual tutorial. We will be doing the Night Queen tiara/crown which I did make that tutorial specifically for Crafty Skull Corvus, one of our awesome viewers. So we'll be doing the, oh, well, speaking of, hi Corvus! So tomorrow night is the, so I finished my project from last night, Corvus, finally. It got tumbled and I put pretty dangly bits on it, so it turned out really nice. So I did that, and now I'm working on the wire band ring that did not happen on Thursday because I got stuck behind a giant wreck. But yes, so Corvus right there, who just said hey hey in the Twitch chat, or hello hello, as she do, was the inspiration for the Night Queen crown, which we are doing tomorrow night. That is a fun, completely wire wrapped tiara crown headpiece. So even if you don't fabricate, if you don't have a torch, you can still make yourself an awesome queen's crown to wear whilst you, that was perfect timing, it's true. You can still make yourself a beautiful queen's crown to wear whilst you boss your enemies and minions around. Also, Corvus, I was this close to forwarding it to you, and then something happened and I forgot, but there was a thing that came up on my Facebook feed about some man who's breeding a frog army, and I was going to ask you if you had like contracted with him for your toad army that's at some point going to come in and rivet me to death for my sins and crimes against the toad community. For anybody who's not familiar with that, that's a long-ish story. Of course you can, I mean, woman, you are officially a Night Queen. The crown's named after you, not the other way around. Okay, so continuing on, that was my 4. Now I'm back to 3. Though you definitely, if you're going to be a Night Queen, I think you need the black throne. Just saying. So you just have to, especially when you're starting to hurry like I kind of am, you have to see when the toad army shows up at my door, I know who to blame. So that was 4, now we're back to 3. And 2. Actually, Corvus, what you really need is some kind of like black throne that like just enrobes you in like a black and purple sparkly swirling mist. I feel like that's the kind of throne that Corvus needs. You know, so if anybody out there is capable of building that, I know Corvus would greatly appreciate it. And of course there must be a, you know, a corvid on the throne. And plenty of sparkly, shiny things. Okay, so again that was 4, now I'm on 3. And then I'm on 2. I know, right? I don't know Corvus. Right now it only exists in my head. But I'm sure there's somebody who can make it somewhere. It seems strangely appropriate. Alright, so that was my 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going back to 3. So this goes faster than the over weave does, I think. Okay, so now we're at 2, now we're back to 3. 4. And then 3. Alright, I got 4 minutes. Let's see how much I can get done. And 3. How's the weather in Cali Corvus? Is it still like 1,000,000 degrees? We had one awesome day of like 70s and 80s, and now we're back to the, you know, the easy bake oven. I still need 20 more minutes. Well, I think this project will be done before then. So, I mean, so going back to an earlier topic of conversation, so I am totally down with doing a 24-hour stream, but peoples need to come and help and participate in the 24-hour stream, meaning we will have a 24-hour lock-in at the Beading Dreams with booze and pizza, and people flying in from other places, and then we will have a 24-hour stream. That is the party that I am looking for as far as 24-hour stream goes. Yeah, 100 degrees. I know. I think they're saying it's going to top out at like 110 next week, which is just insane. And my poor garden, which I just rescued and replanted from the sprinkler snafu, is now just like, we're done, please let us die. It's awful. Like, even my lantana, which lantana is supposed to be one of the best plants for Texas because it's like super heat and drought tolerant, even, and it hasn't died yet, but by the end of the day, the poor little lantanas are just like, they're just droopy and sad, and my hibiscus is not going to bloom this year, none of them, because there's not enough water in the world. Oh my god, Talifet. Oof. Yeah, ugh. Mamie! Hold on, there's a Mamie. There may be a Mamie appearance on stream. Hey, do you want to come in? Or do you just want to sit out there? And yes, now you all get to see my stretchy pants. They have stars on them. Not quite as cool as the stars from the Webb telescope, but they are pretty fun. Okay, so I think I'm about there with my length. So that's my chevron. So I can take that off of my hemostat. I can trim this off. So that was just my short wire that or my thin wire that I trimmed off. And I'm going to go ahead and press that down. Hey, do you want to be on stream? Or do you just want to walk through and ignore me? Kind of feel like it's the second one. Someone said fire. Right? Totally. Someone sent firemen to Talifet. Send firemen to me too. I would not complain. Hey, that's my sprinklers going off. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing on this side I did on the other side. I'm going to trim. Hey, come up here. Come on. Mamie socks. Come see the people. No. Oh my god, little sassy miss. I don't know where she was today, but she came in and her entire coat was full of the tiny little sticker burrs. And I just noticed there's a couple of them that I didn't get. Okay. Yes? Well, come up, you. Come here. Come say hi to your public. Look. It's a baby cat. Yes, that's a Mamie. She's not super thrilled about being on camera, as you can tell. Stop stabbing yourself, Heather. The people love you. Yeah, see, Tallyfet says hi. But yeah, she's still got burrs in her coat. I said she was covered in the little, I call them sticker burrs. Like, they're the little seeds from the plants that are spiky, and so they stick to, like, they'll stick to your clothing, they'll stick to your hair. And they stuck all over her freaking butt and tail. And there's a couple, I thought I got them all, but there's still a couple there. So I gotta go attack her with a comb after the stream and see if I can get the rest of them out. Okay, but we are 2 shakes away from finishing this project. So we're gonna go ahead and take our chain nose pliers and we're just gonna bend each of these wires over, and make sure you bend them the same side that you, she is so small. It's true, so small, but so full of sass. Make sure you bend them to the same side. Smee! Hi, Smee! It's okay. Oh, no, root canal. Oh, dental work. Seriously, on my top 10 things I hate more than anything else. 3 and 4. No, not actual stickers. Like, she would look adorable covered in, like, Lisa Frank stickers. But no, these are the spiky kind. Okay, so now I've got my woven bit, and I'm just going to take my ring mandrel. And like I said, I'm going to go to a smaller size than I normally would. I'm just going to wrap it around so that it overlaps. Let it go. And then you can just slide it down to the size you want. And the cool thing is, if you accidentally made it too long, like I kind of did, you can actually leave it and just do it as a bypass, like so. So that it looks on that, like that on your finger, which is pretty cool. And if you wanted to, you could even wrap a bead in there. So that is our woven wire adjustable band ring. And this was the conclusion of the embellished stepped bezel pendant. So that's going to be it for our Freeform Friday today, Friday, July 15th. Thanks everyone so much for hanging out. Yes, at some point, Heather, you should photograph your sticker collection for posterity, and then you should share it with the stream. So thanks everyone so much for hanging out with me on our Freeform Friday stream, which was kind of a wrap-up of projects that didn't happen this week, and projects this week, and projects that needed to be completed. So I'm super happy about this one. And the ring turned out really nice too. So, as you all probably already know, I'm Allison from Beading Dreams in Dallas, Texas. We are an actual brick and mortar retail bead store. We are on Lovers Lane in Dallas. We're open for business Monday through Saturday from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. If you're not local in Dallas, you can find us on this channel, twitch.tv/Beading Dream, 5 times a week with complimentary tutorials. We stream Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Time. Plus, new-ish, but not super new, Smee. It might just be that the hair makes the glasses look more gold. Yeah, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 6 p.m. plus Thursdays at noon, and a live merchandise sale every Wednesday and every Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. So that means we'll be back on this channel, twitch.tv/ thank you, Heather. Corvus, you do know me, and I just made 2 projects. Nice try, but it's Friday night and I'm hungry, so I'm gonna go eat some food. But I'll be back tomorrow with our Night Queen crown. So tune in tomorrow on Facebook and Twitch to see that Night Queen crown project, followed by a live merchandise sale. So everyone have a great Friday night, and I'll see y'all back on this channel, twitch.tv/Beading Dream, very, very soon. Very soon being tomorrow at 6. Bye! I'm muted. Not